This is your daily market review for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Wow, interesting day. Not surprised, choppy, sloppy, all over the place. Going into the FOMC meeting, we knew the NVDA news. Again, whether it's really that big a deal or not, to me, anything has to be priced in at this point. I mean, it's been on fire for what seems like literally forever. And so at this point, to me, the risk is to the downside. Now, again, not saying you can't go a little higher, but in my opinion, please be careful. If you've been trading the market, thinking about it, whatever is going on, raise your stops. Tomorrow could be a wild day. And as we've talked about many times, sometimes the day that is the most important is the day after the FOMC meeting, because everybody gets trapped into chasing and doing things to get caught in the emotion. And the market likes to trap people by closing at the highs or the lows and then flipping the next day. So if you have any questions, please check out the Discord room, link in the description below. If you're looking to buy, sell, trade, real estate, invest in it, let me know how I can help. Love to be able to help you find a great agent in your local area, or if you're looking for any properties in the Front Range of Colorado, always here to help. Let me guide you on the process, because again, do not work with your Uncle Tommy, Aunt Sally. And again, if they do one deal a year, don't put your hands in those kind of, don't put your highest valued property or your highest valued asset potentially in the hands of a novice. You wouldn't go to court for your life with a crappy lawyer. So why would you just use anybody to buy or sell your house? Use the Zoom link below. You know, I can chat. Check out the Discord room. Get your recommended reading. I'm telling you, people don't read these books. Make sure you get away from Schwab. I'm telling you, Interactive Brokers is the one. Follow, like, hit subscription on the Twitter, also on the YouTube. Check out, again, all these videos are on my website. Also, back to basics. So many educational videos. Well worth it. All right, we know tomorrow is nothing. We know May is nothing. So just at this point, nothing. Nothing is happening. If you're looking to the feds to do anything, don't. Bitcoin, we've talked about this, gets kind of crazy up here. Now it's pulling back to the breakout. We talked about high volume at the highs. Please, ten cuidado. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to crash by any means, but I don't trust anything in the markets. The liquidity goes out, the tide goes out. Nothing should be safe. Oil holding up pretty well. Again, this has got to put pressure on the feds. And then natural gas, we like it at these levels. We talked about just be patient, define your risk, and know what trade you're willing to take on it. Oops, let me start with the dollar. Dollar make you holler. We'll get there in a second. Dollar holding up pretty well. Going into FOMC, little interesting doji here. Again, not really trading the dollar, just watching it for volatility, TLT. Honestly think somehow we get back down to this 92 level before at sometime tomorrow, Thursday. Then who knows? Higher rates, lower rates. I mean, the key is oil, whatever it does, right? Materials. VIX, not surprised coming back to the channel low, going in front of the FOMC meeting, just doing a VIX termination beatdown. Vixen, same thing, kind of chopping. And then what? The VIX. Yeah, chopping. It's amazing how long this is taking. And I mean, the market's going to do what it's going to do. I mean, we're not surprised it's holding up this week. But I also know that you just better be careful. We got high volume at the highs. I mean, it's been distributed for a while, but look at it riding the channel high. This is why you define your risks, set your stops, do what you got to do. QQQ rally back at the end of the day. Again, below the 20-day, below the channel. IWM, the POS that it is lagging, makes a new low, bounces back. This is why it's so hard. And I tell people, like, in front of the Fed meeting, just be careful. Don't really do too much. Dow holding up. Gold posted today, said watch the 119 level. I mean, the 119 being like the most recent like range lows. Again, we bounced off of it again. Silver lagging, needs to catch up. We'll see if it ever does. Because then when you zoom out, you're like, ooh. Let me zoom farther out. Sorry, this thing, like, again, I mean, if you study silver, you know what it should be at. It should be at the 29.30 minimum. Miners, not surprised, taking a little profit in front of the FOMC meeting. I've told you guys, and I tell you again, like, I will buy these things at some point, but I'm going to wait. I'd rather be late. We know a big move's coming, but I've seen where the VIX spikes, the market gets pounded. If gold goes out, Again, liquidity, everything gets sold. Like GDX, GDXJ, they get sold. And they get sold. I'm talking about like they get freaking throttled because, again, liquidity becomes an issue, credit issue for miners. Again, it's all scary when it's happening. That's why I've just reluctantly to buy them. Just be patient. AG, again, if you're long term, you're not going to miss anything. If they once these things bottom, it's ready to go, ready to rock, ready to roll. You'll know. Pass. I'm not saying these can't hold up, but we talked about them chopping around, and that's where I'm just like, leave them alone. All right, Taiwan Semi, we talked about this thing being a dog, bouncing below the 20-day, chopping around. Micron, especially, again, with all the NVIDIA stuff today, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. It's always priced in. Holding the 20-day, we talked about the 20 days, a lot of these. Look at AMD, man. Ouch. Gap down. All right, little indecision day. Maybe it gets a bounce back to the 20-day. Again, that's what I'd be watching. NVIDIA, I'd be watching this 920s area. I mean, we talked about the lows being this 950s. So far, it's holding because the 20-day is going to come into play at some point. Just watch what happens there. SMCI does a 2 million share secondary. Goldman upgrades the stock and is the one who brings their shares to market. What a nice thing to be able to upgrade the stock and then tell everyone to buy all the shares that they're selling and collect fat rips. Nice work, Goldman. Intel, been lagging. Again, I mean, SMCI is going to be choppy, in my opinion. Intel, and people are like, what does that mean? It's like, just be careful. Buy low, sell high, whatever you need to do. Intel, same kind of thing. Crap. I mean, Intel's crap. SMH, we talked about, it's peaked. Now it's just chopping around the 20-day. Just do yourself big favor. 10 cuidado. Adobe drops off to earnings, rallying back. Not surprised. If the market's holding up, it's going to rally a little bit, right? Apple, yesterday it was very surprising. It sold off. But again, I said this. Don't be surprised if you see the 180 sometime before the Fed meeting. Amazon holding up pretty darn well. 20-day. Meta, same kind of thing. Holding the 20-day. All right. CRM. Chop, 20-day. Guggenheim fills the gap yesterday. Said, watch it. If you retest, check it out. Microsoft closes 421. This is a good close for if you're a bull. Let's just see, because it's been sneaky, been very choppy. NDAQ, holy crap. I was watching this today and I said, all right, let this thing run. Big volume, going into the FOMC meeting. Not going to feel like I need to chase it. Same thing like MicroStrategy, just leave these names alone. Trade the level. Said, watch the 20-day. Look how close it gets there. Unreal. Oversold near term, and you go from 1800 down to 12 whatever 100, 1230. It's going to be a choppy, sloppy mess. Look for the extremes, trade around them. Again, I personally believe if Bitcoin's going to the moon, then this thing has a lot of room to run. It's only the market cap isn't crazy. Netflix, chop. But again, just like I've told you, like you got to trade around your positions. You can't just hold MicroStrategy. You have to trade it. And when it gets crazy high and it feels like it's hard to sell, you sell some. And then when it pulls back, you go, all right, I'll start taking stabs at it. Roblox, we talked about gap down yesterday, below the 200-day, channeling down. Pan W, Pelosi's next big trade. Paul and Nancy, kind of keep an eye on this 270. I mean, you could even get down to like 265s. Tesla bounces yesterday. Great. Pulls back today, chopping. I mean, it's just, some people might argue that's a professional gap. And we've seen this before. We'll just keep an eye on it. Again, like the thing has just been a dog. It's just been so doggy. Airbnb, we talked about holding up, breaking out, and then chopping around in like a weak range. Ouch. Costco, I mean, it drops on earnings, watching the 20-day. Got really nothing on it right now. It's just choppiness. Starbucks, we talked about this one breaking the channel lows. Looks ugly. When you zoom out and you go, ooh, okay. Well, just whatever it's, I mean, again, with the market chopping around, it's going to chop around. Chop around. FedEx, maybe I should play that in the background. Jump around, but call it chop around. FedEx chopping around. Caterpillar, got to give it credit where credit's due. Holding up really, really, really well. So, Nucor, talked about it breaking out, then coming back, and now chopping around. Could it be a head and shoulders top? Look at that right shoulder, 2-day range. Keep an eye on the 192 area. X, we talked about, not going to get bought by Nippon. But then what? We talked about there being bidders, so I don't know how much lower it could go. VALE, God, this thing is a dog. Arrow, trying to break out and now chopping around back at the range. Man, that's kind of sucks. Needs some follow through. CCJ, again, another one talking about like pulling back, holds the 200. Like it's got to hold, y'all. It has got to hold because if not, it could get fugly. CF, we like ag names long term, but they're just in a big chop zone. Mosaic, same thing. Chop, chop. Fizz, what a relief it is. NTR, same thing. Chopping. Look at AA. You know, we talk about like these names being strong, and then it's like, oh, here we. It's hard. XLF pissing me off, as you know. Again, I like the shorts on financials, holding up pretty well. Got to give it credit where credit's due. JPMO, same thing, making new highs. Don't step in front of that one right now. Morgan Stanley, junk, chopping around. Bank of America, chopping around. I mean, it's holding up pretty well. You know, you've got references. JPMO, you don't. KR, say Goldman Sachs. Look at this, just perpetual chop. Ugly. KRE, talked about the junk. Look at this. I mean, it's just nothing. Nobody wants junior banks. XBI, little dead cat bounce. Not surprised. We talk about the fake breakout, pulling back, holding the low 90s so far. It is just worth keeping an eye on again because I like to see it as a risk-on, risk-off play. Solar, pop, any pop, major pop. Again, Sol. Now it's chopping around the lows. Sedge, this thing looks uglier than fudge. ENPH, I mean, this thing has been, 100 day. We talked about like looking for shorts on pops, looking good for solar. Same thing, just chopping around. Look for reference ranges. It's just hard sometimes to not get follow through because the market's doing what it's going to do. HYG, good God. Again, you got to be high out of your mind to be buying corporate debt, in my opinion. Oil, man, this has got to be killing the Fed. They're like, please stop it. We talked about UNG again. I don't really like the UNG I like the short KOLD. Looking like we're holding the 15s. Check out the KOLD, right? We talked about this anywhere up in the 150s. Look good. Again, I think this thing gets absolutely slammed in time. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but XOP holding up. We talked about once it got to the 140s. Strong, very strong. Like look at Exxon, you know, Jay Soltis, some of the homies talking about this. Here we go, getting into the next range. Valero, been holding up. I mean, gas names. Again, dry. This has got to be killing the Feds. Look at MPC. I mean, this thing's going to 210, 220. I mean, this thing has no stopping it. CVE, you know, we talked about this one breaking out over the 100, 200 day. Rock and roll, bro. Rock and roll. Occidental, big choppy range. You said, hey, if oil holds up, don't be surprised if you see the 67, 66 area. I mean, so far, so good. Look at it. It's holding up. Buffett selling here. Buffett selling call puts here. Loving the trading range. You got to love Buffett. EQT. Again, this is getting doing a deal with, I think it was Midstream Partners, one of the, I can't remember the exact one. But I'd like this name at some point at lower prices. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, I think we will be natural gas exporters of a large way. Just be thoughtful. Again, I mean, dividend is juicy, 8.22%. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Always here to help. We know the market going to FOMC day is usually choppy. We know tomorrow at 2:30 they will announce at 2, and then at 2:30 they'll talk. If you haven't traded the FOMC day, please be careful. Just, again, look for your extremes. Know your price action. Do not chase. If you have any questions about the markets, real estate, use the Calendly link. Let me know. I can help. Again, be thoughtful out there. I know there's a lot of people who are chasing semis. I know a lot of people who are selling certain stocks, buying certain stocks. Hey, man, again, this is the market. I talked about how the IWM in all 2021 traded in a tight range. It was just choppy. Are you surprised if that happens? Again, same thing with like miners, gold. Like if you have your opinion that something has to happen immediately right now and it's going to be big and fast, we've seen that not be the truth because we've seen in the markets what it do. It's meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. And a lot of people have in their mind like, this has to happen and this has to happen and this has. Telling y'all, it doesn't. That's why you have to define your risk. And if you're playing with options, you got to have stops on those too. In your opinion, you have to go, all right, I'm not willing to give up X amount of dollars. And we know it's a triple, last week was the triple witching OPEX, but this week it's, it's just historically March later in the month. Check the Stock Traders Almanac. Again, if you want to check out the Discord room, links description below. Again, a lot of people like, it's been pretty quiet in there. There's not really a lot to talk about. Know your levels if you want to trade. I've got long-term stuff on. We talked about Apple, financial, semis, kind of keeping it simple, trading around it here and then. Not surprised that the semis are going to reverse split. The Soxus should be a gift. So again, if you're undecided about the market, do yourself a favor, be patient, let things play out. If you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. Discord room, link in the description below. Always someone there willing to help. I appreciate all you guys following through. Also, again, As you know, in real estate, got some listings coming up. And again, the market is very location based. Some places are hot, some places are cold. If you're looking to invest, you got to be thoughtful. Think about everything. You do not chase stocks. Well, what about real estate? Why not have a plan, be ready, and when the market pulls back and rates go higher, again, you're able to pull the trigger because you've done your due diligence. All right, talk to you guys and gals later. Peace.